Kat. I'm a senior here at ASU. I've taken a few classes with Professor Ripley. This is like my 6th class or something. I'm doing my debate rebuttal response to Alfred Cheadle. So he had argued that the states shouldn't surrender their sovereignty in order to promote human rights. And I'm arguing the opposite, that the states should surrender their sovereignty in order to promote human rights. So the first point he made was the biggest countries benefit the most. So like bigger countries like the United States and Russia and China and all of them would benefit more so from all of these agreements and treaties than smaller countries would. And my response to that is it could help with developing countries and building them up. It already helps to enhance like developed countries and then developing countries. So like obviously it works to help the United States. It'll work to help China, like bigger countries like that are already developed, and it's going to help countries that are developing as well. The smaller states are also a little bit easier to like maintain because they are a little bit smaller, so it is better for them to maybe all come together in order to like have a voice. So that is one thing, that they are a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit easier like to help them and to maintain that. For example, so like the example that we had with the smaller countries listening to like bigger courts was the ICJ ruling on the Chile and Peru dispute over the water that they had. So the other point that I wanted to make on this was that the bigger countries are going to be able to influence like the smaller countries. So like if bigger countries and smaller countries are like in these agreements and like treaties and stuff together, we would hope that if bigger countries are able to comply with humanitarian law, then smaller countries will be more likely to comply. And with like human rights issues and everything like that, you would think that like all the countries could kind of influence each other, because there are basic human rights issues in some of these countries. And so yes, in a sense, the bigger countries could be benefiting more, but the smaller countries are going to be able to benefit. The second point he had made was that the states should be able to make their own rules, so like they shouldn't have to comply to like a bigger like rule or like a bigger like power, I guess. So my counter argument to that is how like the United States currently is set up with like our different federal laws versus our state laws. So like obviously there's things that are like federally legal or illegal, and then within the different states they have their different laws. So things have worked before like this, where there is like a bigger like ruling on everything, but like the individual states can like make their own decisions. So my argument for that is that yes, like all these little countries can come together as one and have one central like power, but they can also kind of leave it up to interpretation for the individual countries as well. That would be the suggestion that I could have for it. The one thing to that is that there should be some sort of type of world agreement on certain laws, such as human rights laws and humanitarian laws. Just like I kind of mentioned before, it's a bigger issue. People in general deserve basic human rights and everything like that. And so it would be pretty important for these countries to all be on the same page that like abuse of like humans, like women trafficking, everything like that is something that they can all agree should be like eradicated and done and over with. So that's one thing that, you know, the bigger, I guess, power could kind of try and implement. And then that could be like something that they all kind of agree on. And then make that like the primary sort of goal for everything is like just basic human rights. And then on top of that, just kind of add more, as you could say, like federal law, and each state or country could maintain their individual laws. So I hope that made sense. That was a lot of rambling right there. I apologize. But those are my counter arguments to his argument. So thank you. I will see you guys all later.